Okay, guys, I'm here to give you your Raw review. I'm just gonna, I won't go off memory. The pre-show. Um, the panel consisted of Josh Matthews, Booker T, Mick Foley, which was actually a nice touch. I like seeing Mick Foley out there, and Alex Riley. So I liked the panel this week, and it cuts to some WWE superstars action like it always does, and it shows Summer Rae, who had Fandango at ringside, versus Emma. I think we saw that Emma won this match, and then it shows a tout from Triple H and Daniel Bryan. Um, they touted. It was like a fan that touted this. Obviously, it wasn't a real tout that someone from the company obviously did because it would look like crap if somebody really did. And you can hear when Daniel Bryan was being handcuffed last week. You can hear Triple H say, "Is he handcuffed?" And Stephanie McMahon's like, "Yeah." So then you could hear it was a setup. And then Stephanie McMahon got interviewed, and Renee Young tried to ask her what she's gonna say about Daniel Bryan tonight. She's like, "You're gonna find out as long with everybody else." And that you didn't really find out too much there. Then we got a Paul Heyman interview, and he asked me. He was on the phone, so we had to um, end his conversation so we could do the interview. And Renee Young's like, "Sorry to interrupt, but I want to ask you some questions." Paul Heyman's like, "Well, if you were sorry, then you would not have interrupted me. Why do you always keep interrupting me? Do you have like some fantasy you want with me? You know what? You're gonna find out everything you want with Paul Heyman." So then Renee Young gets really pissed off, and then she was like pissed off. So I liked that. So then we get to the actual show. Well, we get JBL, Michael Cole, and Jerry the Kid Lawler on commentary. And Stephanie McMahon comes out and cuts a promo talking about Daniel Bryan, how he's not here tonight, how her husband's going to destroy Daniel Bryan and then later on go on to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Then Randy Orton comes out and tries to convince Stephanie McMahon to well, he's kissing up to her at first, and then he wants Stephanie McMahon to convince Triple H to just, if he beats Daniel Bryan, to just not go into a triple threat match. Just leave it 1-on-1 between him and Batista. And she and before she can say anything, Batista comes out and says, "What is up with you? You're out here kissing up to everyone. You're drooling all over Stephanie McMahon." Actually, his microphone. Well, he says that no matter who he faces, no matter who he's facing at WrestleMania, he's walking out WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and his microphone actually cuts out. So that was really a nice touch. I didn't think and he like continued talking like he didn't care. So when he would try to say something to her, Stephanie McMahon's like, "What? I can't hear what you're saying. Get a new microphone." But anyhow, he's like, people drool all over Stephanie all the time. I mean, this many superstars drool all over Stephanie McMahon, and then Stephanie McMahon gives Batista a weak ass slap, and she leaves, and Randy Orton's laughing about it, and Batista spears him and holds up the championships, and I thought it was a whatever segment. Next week, but it's gonna be Batista versus Randy Orton. That matches are gonna be good. And at least we didn't have to see it at WrestleMania. Next match. Well, the first match of the night is Christian versus Alberto Del Rio versus Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus, and the winner will become the number one contender to the Intercontinental Championship tonight on main event. And we got and Big E was just out there watching the match, and it was a good match. There was some botches in this match though, like when Del Rio went for the to do the Insiguri kick to Sheamus. I think he missed him, unless Sheamus ducked it. I'm not really too sure about that. And when Christian went to throw one of his right hands to Ziggler, but then Sheamus did do the last call, floated Christian and threw him into the barricade. Sheamus clotheslined Christian over the barricade. Sheamus went for the Texas Cloverleaf. And then Del Rio was trying to fight out of it. I liked how he tried to fight out of it, but he couldn't fight out of it. I'm trying to think what else happened. Christian actually was like hiding behind this match, so I thought that was cool. Eventually, though, Del Rio gets Sheamus in the cross arm breaker, and Sheamus is trying to fight out of it. And Dolph Ziggler gives Sheamus the zigzag, and then Christian sneaks in the win and hits the kill switch on Dolph Ziggler, pins him, and gets the win. So tonight on the main event, Big E is going to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Christian. After the match, Big E tries to shake his hand, but Christian just leaves. I think Big E's going to retain. There's no way Christian's winning the Intercontinental Championship. The Wyatt family's backstage, and they're talking about how they can't fix what's happening to John Cena, that all these little kids, he's trying to be a hero. Same stuff he's always been saying. And then we get Damian Sandow versus Sin Cara with Scooby-Doo ringside. It was obviously a guy dressed up like Scooby-Doo. This was the big Scooby-Doo time machine kind of thing. It was just a Sin Cara match. Technically, you could say, too, that this... Because Sin Cara is in the thing, but this isn't the Sin Cara that was in the movie. Because it was when Mystical was Sin Cara. This is Unical, so what are you trying to do here? But anyhow, Sin Cara hits the Swanton Bomb for the win. It was just a typical Sin Cara match. We get the Lost Matadors without Torito versus Ryback and Curtis Axel. We find out that Ryback and Curtis Axel aren't in the Battle Royal anymore. That's fine. They're going to have like a tag team title shot. So what's going to happen is going to probably be the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, defending the tag team championships against Ryback and Curtis Axel, and the Real Americans being Cesaro and Jack Swagger. But anyhow, the Shield come out and they get and distract Ryback and Curtis Axel, and one of the Lost Matadors rolls them up for the win. And then the Shield get in the win afterwards and throw Curtis Axel into the barricade. Roman Reigns spears Ryback, and then they triple powerbomb Ryback afterwards. I thought this was pretty good stuff. The Shield part, not the actual Lost Matadors Ryback match. Michael Cole interviews Triple H. This was actually a pretty good segment. Michael Cole asked him about all this stuff that's been going on with Daniel Bryan. And Triple H says, well, how that uncomfortable situation when he was handcuffed. And Triple H says, do you want me to answer this as the COO or professional wrestler? They usually do these, by the way, on Wednesdays when they sit down, but Michael Cole wanted to do it in the ring. And then he's like, I had to do what I did to Daniel Bryan because I'm sick of this Yes movie. How many times did he push me to get into this WrestleMania match? And he also talks about how you guys how when I do a hurtful thing like handcuff someone and beat them up, everyone is ashamed of me. But when Daniel Bryan hijacks Raw with a bunch of crowd, you guys put it in as a Raw moment. He also talks about how he's gonna put an end to Daniel Bryan, and he's gonna make a new event called the New Reality Era when he beats Daniel Bryan and becomes the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. This segment was a pretty good, even though I don't like Triple H, but I have to say this was a pretty good segment. I thought it was fine. And then we get Fandango with Summer Rae versus Cody Rhodes with Goldust. Goldust starts dancing with Summer Rae, and Summer Rae like tears her foot. So then Cody Rhodes hits the disaster kick on Fandango for the win. And then afterwards we find out Summer Rae was faking it, which kind of cost Fandango the match. So I don't really know what they're doing here. We get the special guest host, Hulk Hogan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Joe Magalano segment. Hulk Hogan talks about first his WrestleMania moments, how he wrestled Mr. T, and he brings out Arnold Schwarzenegger. He brings out his moments about Andre the Giant, inducted Bruno Sammartino into the Hall of Fame, how Hulk Hogan's another one of his favorites. I forget what Joe Milano said. And then they say that they want to be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And Miz comes out and says, this is it. They're pretty much saying, this isn't acting. This is wrestling. And you guys don't have what it takes to be in the Battle Royal. And Hulk Hogan says that, I forget what Hulk Hogan said, but eventually Joe Maglano kicks Miz in the balls, Arnold Schwarzenegger chops Miz, and then Hogan throws him over the top rope. I thought this was a fine segment. It wasn't actually bad or anything. I actually didn't think it was that bad. And then we get Titus O'Neil versus Big Show. I thought Titus O'Neil looked pretty good in this match. He got Big Show off his feet. On main event, he hit the Clash of the Titus, and I kind of wish he had hit it here since more people would see it on Raw, but they didn't do it. Eventually, Big Show, though, hits a spear and knocks out Titus O'Neil for the win. Actually, we also found out, too, that it's gonna on SmackDown, it's going to be Big Show versus Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family, which is going to be an awesome match. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are backstage, and they're just talking about the Daniel Bryan situation. The Shield come up, and they're wondering what's going on because lately Kane's part of the Authority, and he's been attacking them, so he wants to know where they lie. So they make a match, the Shield versus the Real Americans, and the winner, and then they're going to sit down and have a discussion about it. I'm going to tell you more about that later. John Cena's backstage. He's in the bathroom, rinsing his face. He looks in the mirror and he sees Eric Rowan with his goat mask. And then when he turns around, he's not there. So, obviously Eric Rowan was there, but they're just playing mind games with them. We get John Cena versus Luke Harper with Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan at ringside. I'm glad they did a rematch here since they had more time. They did the Atomic Boot. Big boot again. Well, the Atomic Drop, big boot again. Hurricanrana by John Cena. This time, though, Luke Harper did the Suicide Dive, which was sick. John Cena hit the leg drop. Luke Harper hit a super kick. Eventually, though, John Cena goes for the AA. The lights go out and you hear a bunch of commotion going on in the ring. And then when the lights come back, John Cena's tangled in the ropes with the goat mask on, with Eric Rowan's goat mask. It was sick. It's better than them just laying out the way they normally do. I thought this was a great stuff, and this is definitely going to get inside John Cena's head. I thought this was a sick, I thought this was sick. This was awesome. And then we get AJ Lee defending the Divas Championship with Tamina Snuka at ringside against Naomi with Cameron. AJ Lee just leaves. It wasn't real. I don't even think the match really started. So, and I guess AJ Lee was saying some trash things on SmackDown on commentary to Vicky Guerrero. So she makes a Divas Invitational. I'm gonna actually read the participants because I'm not gonna know them all. So AJ Lee at WrestleMania is gonna be defending the Divas Championship against Naomi, Cameron, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, Natalya, Eva Marie, Emma, Oksana, Alicia Fox, Summer Rae, Rosa Mendez, Layla, and Tamina Snuka. I'm gonna do 3 picks. I'm gonna do Tamina wins, turns on AJ wins, or I guess Natalya. Those are the girls that should win the match. We also found out too, while I'm thinking about it, that more people have been entered into the Battle Royal. As of last night, we now have Brodus Clay, Darren Young, Justin Gabriel, Rey Mysterio, R-Truth, Santino Marella, The Great Khali, Zack Ryder, and Sin Cara are now in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. None of them are winning. The guy that has the most chance out of those is probably Rey Mysterio, but they haven't really been doing a lot with Rey Mysterio. Then we got a sick tag team match. This is probably the match of the night. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose with Roman Reigns at ringside versus the Real Americans with Zeb Coulter at ringside. Awesome match. Good tag team match. And Cesaro swung Dean Ambrose. They both took Dean Ambrose and kind of like swung and both hold him and like kind of like did 1, 2, and then threw him into the barricade. Eventually Seth Rollins got the hot tag and he did some sick stuff. He suicide dived Cesaro. He almost went to the first crowd. He did like a sunset flip roll onto Jack Swagger. He did the flying knee, but Cesaro broke it up. Eventually, he hits the knee stomp for the win, and then afterwards, Cesaro attacks them. Roman Reigns hits the Superman punch, and then the Shield triple powerbomb Cesaro through the table. I thought this was sick. I wish Zeb Coulter could have gone through the table, though. Not that I'm not a Zeb Coulter fan, but it kind of would have been cool to see him go through the table. And then Kane and the New Age Outlaws come out, which is the Road Dogg Jesse James and the Badass Billy Gunn. And then we find out that it's gonna be them versus the Shield at WrestleMania. That's gonna be a sick match. And then we get the Undertaker Brock Lesnar segment. Paul Heyman's just putting up the streak again. How Andre the Giant, John Cena, none of those guys can go 20-0 at WrestleMania. And then Brock Lesnar says, just wants Undertaker to come out there. The Druids come out with the casket. After so many times, Lesnar's afraid. He opens it. There's no one in there. So he goes to leave. And then when he comes back in, Lesnar's like, this is ridiculous. I'm leaving. And then Paul Heyman's like, this is what you want. He wants you to get in your head. And then Undertaker comes out of the casket, fights Lesnar, and big boots him, and Lesnar leaves. I thought this segment was fine. This is probably the best thing. No, I would say this isn't the best thing, but this is a good thing that they did for this feud. I didn't think this really hurt the feud at all. I think this should be still a little bit personal, but this is fine for what it is. And then afterwards on the panel, you still on the backstage pass, it was just kind of like them talking about it. But Lesnar and Heyman got interviewed, and Brock Lesnar says that he's gonna eat, sleep, and beat the streak. So that was Raw this week. I thought this was a great show. You got I liked that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus the Real Americans. I liked the Shield actually attacking, gotten their revenge tonight. I liked the Fatal 4-Way. Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, Del Rio, and Christian. I liked John Cena versus Luke Harper. I liked I didn't think the Batista Randy Orton stuff was that bad. The Triple H sit down interview was good. The only thing I would say the worst thing is probably AJ Lee stuff and maybe the Sin Cara match. But anything else, this Raw was actually a pretty good show, and that's all I have to say. So that's pretty much it, guys. Subscribe to all the stuff down below, and peace out.